Hi, BookTube. Yes, my shirt has a frog on it. I'm continuing the tradition of showing what's on my shirt if it's cut off by the camera. Just because I've been annoyed a few times trying to read people's shirts, trying to pause at certain points, trying to see what's on their shirts. Just vague interest of mine. So I'm coming to you from the midst of Hurricane Lee hitting the Maritimes here in Canada. Power's still on, thankfully. But yeah, we're getting a very rainy, windy day, and I'm very grateful that I don't work today or don't have to go out in this weather, and thinking about people who are closer to the ocean and probably getting more affected by it than we are. Hopefully we won't have a reoccurrence of the past years of what's happening there. So let's dive into what I've read and what I will be reading. My reading slowed down a little this week. I don't know why. Didn't feel like it. I think because I don't know. I can't think of a reason. Anyways, let's get into it. Snow Crash. Probably because of this book. And also I thought it would take me faster to read it, but it is 468 pages. And sometimes it gets very dense and you have to think about it. So this was a reread for me. The first time I read it was on audiobook. And Snow Crash is the reason why I couldn't read Ready Player One or Third Body Problem, because they felt too similar to this. I think I could now approach them as, maybe not Ready Player One, because I've heard so many bad things about it and I didn't like the writing, but and it feels like a direct rip-off almost of Snow Crash. But maybe I could approach the Third Body Problem again and see it as taking this as inspiration. Anyhow, I'm just referencing those because they're more popular books that you may be familiar with. But Snow Crash is a cyberpunk classic. We are following Hero Protagonist. Yes, his real name is Hero Protagonist. It says, I posted a picture on Instagram there. I think he's introduced with a card. Yeah, I don't want to find it. Anyways, so I follow Hero Protagonist and YT as they try to discover what Snow Crash is. So Snow Crash is a computer virus, but it's also affecting people in real life. And the origins of Snow Crash date back to pre-Babel times. Yeah, this world is also really cool in that we have the ultimate federal government has passed and given up almost in this world, and the mafia has taken over franchises, and capitalism has taken over, and capitalism has not only taken over suburbs and businesses and everything, but it's also taken over religion. Yeah, it's really quite interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed it, except for the fact that I don't understand why YT has to be 15. There's a really gross scene where I'm just like, she's only 15. She's a minor. If you just aged her up 5 years, the scene wouldn't be as problematic. There's no reason for her to be 15 in the book. It's not like she goes to school or acts like a 15-year-old anyways. If you just aged her up a little bit, the scene wouldn't be as icky. Yeah. I hope I'm being vague enough to not get spoilers, but giving enough information that you can probably pick up on what I mean anyways. Yeah. So there's that. That's the only real big problem I had with it. Otherwise, this book talks a lot about different social issues, which is what gives me the ick in regards to minors' relationships with adults, sexual relationships with adults too here, is that he talks so much about different social issues and then just kind of allows this to happen without commentary when he comments on everything else. If he had commented on it and how wrong it was, that would have been different, but yeah. Anyways, so he talks a lot about racism, capitalism, and religious oppression and all this other kind of stuff too. So those are pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just gonna do my tradition of pulling open a random. Point here. Okay, there's a lot of like stuff I wanted to look up because it talks a lot about the history of Sumeria and the Sumerian language and religion. It's kind of fascinating how he links that into like technology, but I'm not going to go into that because it's big. It's like whole pages. I'm trying to find something that does. It's okay. Trying to find something that doesn't require context. This is harder than I thought it would be. I'm just going to open it and read it regardless. What's this one? It was punitive and vicious. She knew it was, but she always wanted to give something back to her country. And whenever you work for the Feds, you just accept the fact that there's going to be some politicking, and that as a low-level person, you're going to bear the brunt. And later on, you climb the GS ladder. You don't have to put up with as much stuff. Far be it from her to quarrel with her supervisor. So it was about work and trying to speak up about your rights and stuff, and how she was punished for speaking up, but that, you know, just accept the fact that it's going to happen to everyone and just go with the flow. And, you know, it's kind of a criticism of that kind of stuff. Not as, you know, in-depth as and insightful, but still, I think, a lesson that a lot of people could learn. And then I read manga, Persona 4, Volume 4, and Volume 5. So Persona 4 in particular, it's a whole series. There's like Personas 1 through, I've heard up to 5. My brother plays the video games. These are based on video games. I haven't played the video games. I watched my brother play a bit, and I've read the comics, the manga. So in this particular series, we're following these group of high school students trying to solve some murders, and the murders are connected to this TV show, and they get sucked into the TV, quite literally, physically in the TV, and in there they have to confront parts of themselves that are hard for them to accept. They call it the shadows, and they have to engage in battle, of course, but also learn that that's part of themselves, and they can learn to accept parts of that. So in Volume 4, we meet Rize Kujikawa. She's an idol, and she has to come to the small town, take a little break. Here's an example of the art. I've got to be a little careful in here because there is alluded to nudity. That's one of my favorite characters, Teddy. Yeah, and then in Volume 5, I don't know if we meet a new detective on the case, but yeah, Teddy is the one facing his shadow and trying to accept the parts of him. Yeah, I really enjoy this series. I'm hoping it ends with Volume 6. I looked up online, apparently there's 12 volumes, but the library only has 6, but it seems like it's going to end soon, so I don't know what is real. I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to read Volume 6 very shortly. Talking about what I'm going to read, let's get into that. This week I plan on finishing one book and starting another. The book I plan on finishing is Gut Symmetries. I haven't even opened this yet. This is by Jeanette Winterson. So this is, I'm just going to read the back because it will explain it better than I could. It redraws the romantic triangle for the post-Einsteinian universe, where gender is as elastic as matter, and any accurate grand unified theory, gut, must encompass desire alongside electromagnetism and gravity. And I was like, that's all I really need to know. That sounds actually like a quite interesting concept. So that's what I'll be reading, Gut Symmetries. And I plan on starting Dreadful Water by Thomas King. I love Thomas King. I've read a lot of his nonfiction. I read On the Back of the Turtle last year, or the year before, recently anyways, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And so this is the first book in a detective series. Oh, this is probably going to go really fast. Look at how big the font is in the margins. That's going to be really fast to read. Okay, and it's a mystery, so I tend to read like mysteries and thrillers faster. So we're following Thumps Dreadfulwater. He's a Cherokee ex-cop trying to make a living as a photographer in the small town of Chinook, somewhere in the northwestern United States. But then he takes pictures of a dead body left behind in a newly completed luxury condo resort built by the local Indian band. It's a mystery that Thumps can't help but get involved in. Of course, retired cop solves the mystery, but Thomas King is always very insightful, and he does it with humor, but not an irreverent humor. A humor with meaning, and that makes you think. So I'm really looking forward to delving into this, and especially with that font. Oh, I love that. That's going to make me feel so accomplished. I could probably finish that in like 2 sittings now that I look at it. That's the dream, anyways. And then I went to the library, and I got out more manga, because I didn't want to add actual books to my TBR. I have a really big stack, plus a few extras still left on the shelf there that I wanted to read. So I got Personas Volume 4, 5, and Volume 6. I'm hoping this is the conclusion. It seems, is the friend's investigation truly over? I hope that's the end. I love those series, but this is the last book available in the library, so I'm hoping that's the last book in the series. I renewed this book, Doubt Volume 2. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. It is a chunker of a manga. I've talked about this lots of times before. It's about this game where you play rabbit and you gotta find out who is the wolf in Rabbit's clothing before he kills all the other rabbits. But then the game kind of comes to life when these teens are abducted and people start getting murdered. I hope that's also the last volume, because that is the last volume the library has. And then I decided to try out a few new series. I don't know what made me pick this up. Maximum Ride by James Patterson, the manga. Yeah, it seems to... What? She flies? Hey. Okay, they have wings. I have no idea what this was about. I thought it was about motorcycles. Okay, well, I can't tell you what that's about because it's not what I thought it was about. I really just picked these up because the covers and the name sounded interesting. This is Terraformers by Yu Sasuga and Kenichi Tachibana, volumes 1 and 2, and it takes place in the 26th century. Overpopulation on Earth is reaching the breaking point, and humanity must find new frontiers. The terraforming of Mars has taken centuries, but is now complete. And I love books about exploration and going out and terraforming different planets, so... Oh, God. That's like, I don't know what's going on in that scene, but that's an example of some of the art. There seems to be like alien critter things. That actually looks pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to starting a new series once Persona 4 is over. This coming week, I have a series of videos based on the TV show Supernatural. So every day, fingers crossed, is the plan. I'll be releasing a video about Supernatural and how it ties into books, or books that tie into Supernatural. So keep an eye out for those. Let me know what you're planning to read this week, and thank you for watching.